Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the land of ugly wallpaper. Welcome to the table. It's time for a top of Texas beer review. This is beer review number 4, and we take you to Conroe, Texas, the land of Southern Star Brewing. And this is Buried Hatchet Stout. Very appropriate because this is February 1st. It's Stout Week. And I'm not reading into anything, but why is it that Stout Month, I should say Stout Month, not Stout Week, but why is it that Stout Month is also Black History Month? I don't know, not reading into it. Perhaps it's just a coincidence, but let's pour this stout from Conroe, Texas. By the way, Southern Star Brewing Company was the first brewery in the state of Texas to brew their beers and distribute their beers in cans. Let's pour this beer and see what we have. Pours a lot like a cola. As a matter of fact, almost looks like I'm enjoying a Coke or Pepsi right now. But nice head development on this, especially for a beer that's not a nitro beer, doesn't have a widget in it, but a nice head development, nice head retention here. Not super dense like you would see with a nitro-driven Guinness, but still a respectable head on this. Maybe a half an inch thick. We'll see if it retains. So let's smell Buried Hatchet Stout. Now, there's nothing on the can that says that this is an imperial stout. You go to Beer Advocate and you look up this particular beer, and it says, I believe it says American Double / Imperial Stout. Again, nothing on the can that suggests Imperial Stout. There's not a statement as far as ABV. Now you go to the Southern Star website, and it shows that the alcohol by volume is 8.25%, and it suggests that the beer in style is a strong American stout. To the nose we go. Immediate delivery of roast, nice roast on this. Coffee, chocolate, dark chocolate. Maybe the slight hint of a toffee. Nutty, kind of maybe some roasted peanuts. That's the aroma. Okay, we've already lost the desirable head that you would want with the stout. I think that's something you expect with the stout, is you want a head that sticks around for a little bit. Again, this is not nitro driven. Poured from a can without a widget, so the head is gone. Yeah. You know, the arrival really is a nice toasty signature with a bit of hop bitterness. You know, we focus so much on the dark malts. We focus so much on the roasty, toasty experience with the stout that we often overlook hops. But that first taste arrives with a nice hop note. Good. Now, let me say this. When it comes to stouts, I really believe that of all the styles of beer I have tasted through the years, I have run into more mediocre stouts than I have mediocre versions of other styles of beer. Just in the past 12 to 14 months, I've had some pretty lousy runs of stouts. I found many of them to be mediocre, underwhelming, unimpressive. And I will say this, when it comes to stouts, my level of interest, my level of enjoyment goes up with imperial stouts. That bold flavor matched by high alcohol content. Obviously, KBS. Boulevard is doing amazing things with their smokestack series as far as stouts are concerned. And of course, Prairie Bomb. So, really, when it comes to one particular style where I think there's the greatest risk of mediocrity, based on the experience of my last 2 years, I have to say that I think it's stouts. I think that's the style where there is the greatest risk of mediocrity. This is a good stout. So let's talk as we enjoy this beer. Let's talk about a little bit of news, shall we? A bit of a celebration is in order because it was February 1st of 1979. That was the time when homebrewing was federally recognized as a legal practice. And you really have to think about that as an opportunity, as a kind of an open door for brewers to feel a little bit more liberated, a little more perhaps experimental, a little more willing to share. And you have to think that perhaps these home brewers that were liberated by this law in 1979 were perhaps inspired to do it on a bigger scale. And that perhaps is what led to these craft breweries coming along, especially in the late 80s into the early 90s. So February 1st, 1979, that's when home brewing was federally recognized. Well, on the more entertaining side of beer news for this week, I checked in with WGNTV.com, and I saw that a man was sentenced to 3 years in prison for stealing beer. What he did is he rented a truck. He got a rental truck, like a U-Haul or a Penske truck, and he went to a distributor, and he stole 1,800 cases of beer and transported it to a warehouse in suburban Chicago. Now, by my calculations, that's 43,000 bottles or cans of beer. If you're going to serve time for stealing beer, it better be good beer. What was it? It was Miller beer. You deserve to go to jail for stealing Miller beer. My goodness. Back to the Berry Hatchet Stout. This is a good Texas beer. I mentioned that toasty hop bitterness earlier. A little bit of almond there in the flavor profile. Dark chocolate, nice dark chocolate. The mouthfeel is creamy. It really is a good example of the style. If we're classifying this as just a straight up stout, it's one of the better ones I've had. If we're classifying it as an imperial stout, coming in at 8.25% alcohol, I've had better. But considering the alcohol by volume, you know, it's right up there among the best I've had as far as, again, straight up stouts. And this is a wonderful Texas brewed stout. Really good. It's strong, but it's drinkable, and I do like it. And I think I mentioned this earlier. Southern Star Brewing in Conroe, Texas, is the first Texas brewery to package and distribute beers in cans. If I were to rate this beer out of 5 stars, I'd give it a 3.75. Maybe on a good day, I would give it 4. Again, a very good beer. As always, I want to hear what your favorite Texas and Oklahoma beers are. Well, that's it for beer review number 4. I hope you'll check out Buried Hatchet Stout from Southern Star Brewing in Conroe, Texas. Cheers to you in your craft beer adventure.